If you're loving this podcast, be sure to check out the full lineup. From news and local politics to sports and true crime. Find your next great listen right now at duluthnewstribune.com/podcasts. That's duluthnewstribune.com/podcasts.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Friday, September 8th. I'm Dan Williamson with your Duluth News Tribune Minutes, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union's services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Hey, it's Friday, and if you're looking for ideas for some fun things to do this weekend, Duluth News Tribune arts and entertainment reporter Jay Gabler has some options in this week's Best Bets.
Got a couple road trips to suggest for you this weekend before the roads start getting bad with winter weather. We all know that comes fast and furious in the Northland, so make the most of it and branch out either west or east. If you want to head east, you can go to the South Shore of Lake Superior out to Bayfield and Madeline Island. Now, when you think of Bayfield in the fall, you might think of the Apple Festival, and with good reason. It's a fantastic event, but not the only reason to go to Bayfield in the fall. There's an annual art escape. It's a 9-day event, so you have plenty of time to get there with related events in Bayfield and on Madeline Island and other events in towns including Cornucopia. The big event associated with the Art Escape is the Bayfield Festival of Arts, which goes on this weekend with 2 days of juried vendors in Memorial Park, that is Bayfield, Wisconsin, on the South Shore. If you want to head west, you can go to beautiful Grand Rapids, Minnesota, which holds one of the biggest regional music festivals of the calendar year. It's the Grand Rapids Riverfest, and listen to this lineup. This weekend's festival includes Jason Isbell in the 400 unit, Amanda Shires, and Shamikia Copeland. Also, Dessa. And if you want to see Dessa perform and you don't want to leave Duluth, well, you have an opportunity to do that as well. Dessa is going to be in Duluth on Sunday, so the Grand Rapids Riverfest takes place on Saturday in Grand Rapids, and then on Sunday, Dessa is going to come on over to Duluth, where she is going to perform at the West Theater. But first, she is going to stop at Zenith Bookstore to present her new poetry book. So you get to have two opportunities to see Dessa in Duluth alone, first reading from her poetry book at Zenith Bookstore, and then crossing the street to the West Theater, where she will perform a set that will likely include selections from her forthcoming album, Bury the Lead, that is on Sunday right here in Duluth. For more information on these and other best bets for the weekend, check out duluthnewstribune.com. I'm Jay Gabler.
Now here's a look at today's headlines. A federal judge has dismissed a lawsuit Twin Metals filed last year against the Biden administration over its decision to cancel the company's mineral leases for its planned copper-nickel mine near the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. Judge Christopher Cooper of the U.S. District Court in Washington on Wednesday granted a motion by two federal agencies and a coalition of environmental groups and recreational businesses to dismiss Twin Metals' claims. The decision can be appealed, according to the order. In a 21-page decision, Cooper said the court found it lacked jurisdiction on two of the company's claims, quote, and that the remaining two failed to state a claim, end quotes. In August of 2022, Twin Metals sued the U.S. Department of Interior and Bureau of Land Management, arguing the federal agency's decision to cancel two of their mineral leases in January of 2022 was, quote, arbitrary, capricious, and unlawful evisceration, end quote, of the company's mineral rights. The Chilean-owned company is hoping to build a large underground copper-nickel mine and dry stack tailings storage facility near Ely and Birch Lake, within the Rainy River watershed and 5 miles from the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. Critics say the project could send tainted runoff into the Boundary Waters, while supporters say the mine would bring much-needed jobs to the region. The leases, first issued in 1966, were rescinded in the final days of the Obama administration in 2016 over concern the mine would pollute the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness if it were ever to open in the same watershed. The Trump administration then reinstated the leases in 2017 and moved to renew the leases in 2018. The 10-year leases were then formally renewed in May of 2019. But in January of 2022, Anne Marie Bledsoe Downs, acting deputy solicitor of Indian Affairs for the Department of Interior, wrote in a memorandum that the 2019 lease renewal by the Trump administration violated Bureau of Land Management regulations. A police response to a suicide attempt led to a man's arrest on rape and assault charges. 25-year-old Caleb Lee Joey Overfors of Virginia was taken into custody Tuesday after calling 911 to report that his girlfriend was attempting to kill herself, according to a criminal complaint. Virginia police officers responded to the residence on 12th Street North and found the woman screaming and saying, quote, "I can't do this anymore," end quote. The complaint states that Overfors was by her side attempting to free a rope from her neck. The woman was taken to an ambulance where she told staff that Overfors, quote, hit her and threw her around, end quote. She went on to tell an officer that the defendant forced her to have sex and hit her when she tried to say no, according to the complaint, which indicates that the incident happened about 6 hours prior to the 911 call. Police noted that the woman had a lump on her forehead and bruising on her eye, arm, stomach, and lower back. Overfors was arraigned Thursday in state district court on a felony count of first-degree criminal sexual conduct with use of force and a misdemeanor count of domestic assault. Court records indicate he had minimal criminal history, with only a few offenses related to marijuana possession and underage liquor consumption. Still, he faces upward of 12 years in prison under state guidelines if convicted of the rape charge. Judge Robert Friday set bail at $75,000 and ordered a chemical dependency evaluation. Overfors' next court appearance was set for September 20th. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to you by the Superior Telegrams podcast, Archive Dive.
Happy Friday, Duluth. Mostly sunny skies today with a high temperature around 68 degrees. Southeasterly wind about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So that will be keeping things a little bit cooler along the north shore of Lake Superior. Overnight tonight, a few clouds roll into the picture down to 56 degrees to start off the weekend. We will be tracking increasing clouds then for your Saturday with a high of 66 degrees and a chance for some scattered showers as the day progresses. High temperatures staying in the 60s for Sunday, but drier weather ahead. Another chance for some spotty showers on Monday. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Jesse Ritka.
Thank you to Archive Dive for their support. The monthly history podcast, hosted by Superior Telegram reporter Maria Lockwood, dips into the archives of historic events, people, and places around Superior and Douglas County. It's available at superiortelegram.com or wherever you also get this podcast. A new episode is now available, featuring part 2 of a 2-part series looking back at the life of the legendary Bud Grant. Reporting for today's episode was done by Jimmy Lovren, Tom Olson, and Jay Gabler. Thank you for listening to the Duluth News Tribune Minutes. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.